Okay, here we're continuing with AUC Section 265 for communicating internal control related matters. And in this particular video, we're starting the section on the requirements of AUC Section 265, and they have it split into three different sections. The first one is determining whether deficiencies in internal control have been identified, and next, evaluating the identified deficiencies in internal control, and then communicating those deficiencies in internal control. So three easy steps in the process there, but for this particular video, we're just going to take a look at the first one, determination of whether deficiencies in internal control have been identified. So this is AUC Section 265.08. And it says that the auditor should determine whether, on the basis of audit work performed, the auditor has identified one or more deficiencies in internal control. And so you remember from other AUC sections, the goal of our audit is not to find internal control deficiencies. And so here when they're saying through our audit work performed, this is almost kind of an ancillary deal where we're not necessarily looking for internal control deficiencies in our audits, but we may come across them in our procedures. So let's go down to the explanatory section at A1 through A4 to get some more information on determining whether there are deficiencies that exist. So let's go down here to A1. And so it says when we're determining whether we've identified one or more deficiencies in internal control, we might discuss the relevant facts and circumstances of our findings with the appropriate level of management. And this doing so gives us a couple benefits. First, it alerts management, gives them a heads up that there may be some deficiencies in their internal control processes. That way they're aware. And secondly, they can give us some more information about the deficiency and corroborate what we've seen. And also there might be circumstances where we might not want to communicate those deficiencies directly with management. For example, if our findings appear to call management's integrity or competence into question. So in that instance, we might not want to inform them of what we've found. And so this is before we've actually done a formal communication to management about the internal control deficiencies. This is initially for us to understand whether there are deficiencies or not. And so in discussing the facts and circumstances of our findings with management, we may obtain other relevant information for further consideration. For instance, management's understanding the actual or suspected causes of the deficiencies, expectations arising from the deficiencies that management may have noted, and a preliminary indication from management of its response to the finding. So by giving management a heads up of kind of what we found, it serves our purposes in all of these ways. We might get more information from management. It also gives us an indication of management's thoughts about the deficiency and what they might think about us, including that in a formal letter to them.